What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Today's video, I want to talk about a couple things that's going on in Raid right now. Actually, there's a lot of things going on in Raid, and that's kind of like the topic of the video. And basically, this is the first time in a long while where I actually feel completely overwhelmed. I mean, as a state of the game kind of video, I feel I feel like there's a lot to cover in this. But basically, I feel totally overwhelmed with this game right now. And this is coming from somebody that, first of all, completes everything in the game. So for me, I do everything in the game that is available to me. So for example, I will do Faction Wars, Arena, Clan Boss, Doom Tower, Curse City, Siege. I do everything in the game, live arena to some extent, depending on time. So if you guys aren't able to do all that, that's totally fine. But this is where I'm coming from, and I want to share with you guys what's going on. So basically, Plarium introduced this new format called the Chimera, right? The Chimera, it's another time sink boss. Yes, it takes less time, and it's only once a week. But if you're playing at an end game level, you want to look for the best combinations. You want to look for the best score. So you're going to have to do this over and over again. Each one of your attempts will take between 15 to 25 minutes. If you're autoing, if you're manualing, it'll probably take double that time. We covered this in many videos already, but this adds on top to the already overwhelming things to do. I can only imagine what newer or mid-game players have to go through when they have to take 3 to 4 minutes per level, for example, like a dungeon run, whereas for me, it's much faster. And I already feel like there's too much time spent in this game. There's too much things to manage. If you look at this event tab, it's absolutely a circus going on here. We got training, dungeons, we got artifacts, we got a Titan event happening at the same time as a fusion. It's absolutely bonkers. And then you have to keep track of these Titan points as well as keeping track of pieces of the fusion if you want to complete everything. Obviously, you're probably going to say, hey, Booze, this is a you problem. You're trying to do too much, blah, blah, blah. And you know what? That's true. At the end of the day, I'm a free-to-play player, and I do everything available to me for free and whatever is available. So for me, there's 2 champion events going on for basically free champions. You know, Sir Nicholas and Lady Noelle. Both of them, obviously, you want to just add to your roster, especially if they're available to you, given that you have enough resources to complete them. So for me, of course, I will go for them. And like I said, this is probably the first time in maybe a long while where I feel absolutely overwhelmed. And that's already just what's happening. Do they also throw in extra things like here's a Sand Devil tournament or Sand Devil event, like just gonna tack that in there just to throw your attention off a little bit. Oh, how about all these progressive events that are happening? Literally progressive events every single day, guys. They do not let up on these progressive events. It's Christmas time, like it's the holidays. And they're going to be hot and heavy on these progressive events for the whole holidays, no doubt. There's also a CVC happening right now, which is absolutely insane. We're crushing this clan, unfortunately, for them. But we're doing great as a clan. But, you know, CVC commitments is massive time sink as well, especially if you want to maximize and not just like throw things into the wind and just get points and call it a day. Like I could do that too, but if you want to maximize, then you're gonna have to put some extra thought into doing some things. So for me, like I've come to like a point in the last day or two, especially with like just things going on in real life. So if you guys didn't know, I'm like moving right now. So this is like moving week, which is actually like pretty insane. You know, it's good stress. It's good stress, but it's stress. It's mental stuff on top of stuff. And obviously, you know, you have real life stuff. You have real life, like for me, I have real life work, real life family, and obviously like, yeah, that stuff obviously adds up. And then on top of all this, I run a second account, which basically mirrors the first account, which is what I'm showing right now. So this is my main account, my Boozilla account. And I also run a secondary account, which is equally as crazy in terms of what I have to do. I do everything in this account as well, you know, 400k plus, tier 6, CBC. Like I try to maximize my Hydra, my Chimera bosses, our Siege participation. You know, Curse City, I definitely let up on here. I let up on Live Arena here because I just don't have time to do that extra stuff on a secondary account. So for me, like, and I'm doing the fusion on that account as well as the Titan event on that account too. So for me, definitely feeling overwhelmed right now, and the holiday season, of course, right? So maybe for you guys are starting to feel the same way. Like I have a pretty high kind of threshold for what I can do in this game, and right now I definitely feel like the tightness of everything. And this fusion is not something that's easy, right? This is not an easy fusion where you just collect fragments and call it a day. You have to collect each piece, not lose track of them, not feed them in, and then you have to build them up and then find the optimal places to build them up, and then build up these epics and then fuse them by this time. You can't really just set it and forget it, right? You can't really just do the events and forget about the fragments and hey, I got a fragment fusion sometime in the future. There's a lot of things you have to kind of consider in terms of just timings of everything, right? So it's just a lot of mental stuff going on in Raid that it's kind of not really yeah, it's just different. It's just different right now. And I think a lot of it comes down to this Chimera Boss. You have to figure out the comps for it. Like I spent a lot of time working on it on the test server. I mean, like we had an advantage, right? Like some of the content creators, we had more time on the test server. So we actually had like a week in advance to like prep for it. So I'm not as bad as probably like the live population that have to deal with it. But of course, like, you know, they benefit from our research and our playthroughs and stuff like that, right? So that helps too. Also keep in mind, like, yeah, I got stuff like going on the like test server. Like I'm trying to do like some stuff on Lady Noelle for like a clan boss team, but man, it's just been like a bit of a mess. So for me personally, I think it might be just like overflowing from, you know, real life, all the test server stuff, and then flowing into like 2 accounts with like basically 2 fusions happening at the same time, right? Like we can call it as it is. The Yuletide Titan event is basically another fusion. So at this moment, there's technically 2 fusions happening at the same time. And none of them, like both of them are must-haves, to be honest. So it's kind of like self-inflicted damage at this point. Like I could just take a break and say, hey, forget it. But like obviously, like, you know, years of being like entrenched in this kind of like game cause you to have like these kind of habits, right? Like these habits that you just don't miss out on things. And you know, I don't really have, like, I don't fall victim to FOMO, but I definitely feel the FOMO. And it's kind of like, oh, if I don't get this champion, you know, I'll never get them again. And it's kind of true, right? If I don't get like Sir Nick, I might not get him again. I probably don't want to get him, like, especially for a Void Mercy pull, for example, right? He's not that great, to be honest. Like, if you guys went for this guy, Unreal's great. Like, even Gurgle, the new Gurgle's great. I don't know about Chagar, but like the new Gurgle's great. But all these champions are good, right? But they're definitely like, you know, really good at giving you guys FOMO and stuff. But that's obviously one way to drive people to do things. But for me, it's definitely like a bit of a habit. When I see these events, it's like, okay, I gotta do this, this, and this, and then I'll get a champion out of it, which is super cool, but it doesn't really help me, right? Like Sir Nicholas or Lady Noelle's not gonna really help me. Figuring out a clan boss team with Lady Noelle, like that doesn't really help me at all. And I don't even know if I would recommend building Lady Noelle for a clan boss team. Like, yes, I got a clan boss team to work, but I couldn't get it to work on Nightmare as well as Ultra Nightmare. And I couldn't see a benefit to using Lady Noelle over somebody like an epic, like Maneater or Demitha or Warcaster, for example, right? Like, why would you put legendary books into a, you know, legendary, you know, just for a clan boss? I don't know, when epics can do basically the same thing. So I decided to not bother putting in any more work into the Lady Noelle clan boss team. It just, I can't even advertise it, to be honest. I can't even say, hey guys, look at this and, you know, do this, if you get this fusion, because I feel like putting the legendary books into her just for that, it just feels kind of wasted. And you also need legendary books into Sir Nick too. So, but yeah. And also, like, did I mention it's the holidays, right? It's the holidays. It's super busy time and all that stuff. And then I don't know if you guys noticed, but, you know, I missed a couple of days of uploads. First, my keyboard, like, totally, like, just gave up on me. Some of the keys stopped working. And then, like, a day or two later, my microphone gave out. So, you know, all these, you know, extra things you have to juggle around. And then obviously it's the start of Fusion. So you guys notice I might have missed the Fusion schedule. So that was kind of like a big thing too. I usually never miss the Fusion schedules. Like, we can have a quick chat about it here, but basically we're on day 2 at the time of this video upload. The big thing here is that we only have 2 dungeon diver events and 3 training events. Like, this kind of makes me think it's a little bit unusual, which makes me think that there might be a big event correlated to a dungeon diver event. Maybe that's going to be like a deck of fate or something along those lines somewhere here. So don't think we're out of that dungeon diver event. It's definitely going to show up somewhere. The other thing is the champion chase is in this fusion, so that means you can save up all your rares, fuse them during the champion chase for the void epics, which gives you, you know, good amount of points, 650 each epic, so it's decent amount of points there. There's also this Vanguard summon rush option here, so you can get an epic out of the summon rush. Personally, I think so I'll make a quick comment about this, but personally I think I usually like to go for the epic here for the flexibility of skipping some of the later events. So that's probably one of the main reasons why you want to go for the epic here, is that you want to skip some of the later events, especially around Christmas and stuff, just give you guys some flexibility. But I will probably say it might not be something to recommend this time. I'm not 100% sure, but basically what I'm thinking is that by getting the epic, it allows you to omit some of these events. However, you probably want to continue participating in these events if you're going for Sir Nicholas's Titan event. It seems like Sir Nicholas's Titan event will end somewhere around Christmas. So any one of these events leading to the end of the Titan event should potentially have some additional Titan points in them. So it really depends. It really depends on where the Titan points land, but getting the epic, having the option to omit 4 events, maybe not the best, but I think if you're going to get the epic here, you can just skip the last 4 events, or maybe skip the champion chase or something along those lines, and then you'll probably be okay. But I think Plarium might make it so that the champion chase is so good that it's going to be basically a must do anyways. But yeah, it's really hard to say. Usually the epic in these rush events is better value. By picking up the epic as part of a summon rush, usually you get a bit more value out of it as opposed to doing events separately. So that's kind of what I found just from previous fusions. In terms of like overall, I think this fusion looks pretty straightforward-ish. Like I said, 2 dungeon divers definitely helpful, but we get 3 training events in exchange. But yeah, this is just like extra stuff to kind of, you know, remember, right? Like you got to do that. And then, like I said, you got to figure out this Titan event stuff. It's absolutely insane, like how much stuff is going on right now around Christmas time. And like, you know, let's be real. There's going to be, you know, there's a break, right? There's a break after the CVC. This is the last CVC for 2024 or whatever. We get a 1 month break. Let's be real here, guys. They're going to jam something in that 1 month that's going to be like new and exciting, maybe. That's going to bump engagement. They're not just going to have a lull for 1 month. Like they're not taking a break. They're not going to give this game a break, you know, players like that. They're not going to give the players a break. That's for sure. Anyways, guys, sorry, the video is a little bit of a rambling mess, but I just wanted to emphasize that, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on in the game. Even I feel overwhelmed. You know, and I guess it's the season and all that stuff. So hopefully you guys are making sure you guys are taking care of your own self. You know, this thing is just, you know, it's just a game, right? So if you guys are not like entrenched in it, like you guys, you know, pull those tentacles off of you and go live your real life and enjoy the holidays and all that stuff. But yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to say, and I want to let you guys know that, you know, everything's fine. You know, I missed a couple days because of technical stuff and real life stuff happening. But yeah, that's about it. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Let me know in the comments below how you guys are doing. I mean, like mentally, how's your holiday season going? How's like obviously shopping, family stuff, and all that good stuff that happens around this time of year. But yeah, let me know in the comments below. Thanks a lot for watching again, and I'll see you guys in the next video.